Boom. Alright, what's going on, you guys? Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about my current stance on some of our favorite Bitcoin miners, whether I think a reversal might be on the horizon and more upside is to come again, or whether I am a short-term bear and more downside is to come. I'm going to assume that you guys can assume by looking at this arrow that's straight up pointing to the downside for my chart on Bitcoin. I lean towards the latter, you guys. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, I am a short-term bear on the entirety of the crypto sector. Of course, because I am bearish on Bitcoin. It's tough for me to be bullish on the majority of this sector. So that is the case. But before we dive into short-term price action, I just want to remind you guys, as always, my long-term bullish sentiment for all the names we're going to be talking about today remains unchanged. I still have faith 100% in all of these companies over the long term. But as a trader, my job and my commitment to you guys is to do my best to optimize profits with the data that I have available. And that's what I'm trying to do. Always remember, you guys, corrections present opportunities when you know you got a good thing going. And that's my perspective and that's my theory on all of the names we're going to talk about today. Okay, so just because I'm bearish short term doesn't mean I'm actually not stoked for more downside, because I can pick up some names that I love long term at discounted rates and establish lower cost per share for many of my positions. All right, so just remember that. Let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly just go over the names we'll be discussing, and then we'll dive in on the charts. In front of us is TradingView, where we'll talk technicals and price targets. Once again, on the following names today, in this order, going down the watch list, you guys can see right here on the top right. Kicking it off, of course, if we're talking Bitcoin miners, we can't not kick it off with the king, with the big dog, with Bitcoin. So we'll talk Bitcoin, you guys. As evident by the big red arrow you guys can see in front of you, I am bearish, and I do think the 30,000s are on the horizon. I'll explain to you guys why that is. I know a golden cross just occurred. I don't even have MAs on this chart because I've found that in this market environment, just general stick figure trend lines tend to be a little more reliable, weirdly, than moving averages. So that's why I wiped moving averages off my charts, honestly, like eight months to a year ago at this point. But it's not looking good, you guys, as you guys know, as I've been saying for the past week, and it's actually surprising that we've strung out this long. When we see a big move down, a very significant red candle of doom like this for Bitcoin, we usually see exactly what we're seeing right now, a little dead cat bounce followed by some capitulation and sideways price action, followed by another big move down. So that's what my money's on. I do think that this red trend line will come into play 100%, and I'll explain to you guys why that is once we actually dive into the charts for real. Okay, so kick it off with Bitcoin. We will then move on to the OGs, Waves fam OGs that are Riot Blockchain or Riot and a Marathon Patent Group. OG, or Mara, and then we'll move on to the new bits, which are bitfarms, BITF, and BitDigital, BTBT, to close it out. BitDigital actually closing the day in the green today, which is kind of nice to see, but because you guys know I am bearish on Bitcoin, I'm very suspect on the greater equity markets. It's just tough to be bullish, which is why I'm not bullish, and I once again am short-term bearish, long-term bull. Okay, so before we dive in, as always, you guys, please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it. If you share the same opinion as I do, even if you don't, give the video a like. Drop a comment as to why you either agree with the sentiment, with my bearish short-term sentiment, or if you agree or if you disagree and think that we're going straight back to the moon. Okay, so as always, let me know what you guys think, but rationalize your decision and your opinion, I should say, down below. Really means a lot. Okay, so subscribe to the channel, of course, if you're new around here. If you're watching, if you're not subscribed, make that red button gray. Why do I always scuff that? But make that red button gray. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. And of course, if you want to know exactly how I'm trading the names we're talking about today, but more importantly, some of the names that we've talked about on the channel in the past week or so that are my new plays, how I'm hedging my portfolio against more downside, how I'm playing volatility, how I'm playing some short squeezes like Root, which is a play I'm super excited about right now, as you guys know. If you guys want to know my exact calls, my exact puts, my exact share structures for my personal portfolio, first link down below. That is going to be $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months, along with every portfolio update, which I do every trading day during market hours. I also send out a complimentary email newsletter explaining my thoughts and rationalizing my trades, throwing some real-time price targets in there for you guys and letting you guys know why I'm trading the way I'm trading. Not for you guys to copy, but for you to learn from my failures and hopefully more so my successes. Okay, so again, first link down below really means a lot if you guys check that out. And if not, no worries at all. I appreciate your time and your eyeballs right now. Let's move on. Again, we'll talk Bitcoin and then move into the good old miners. So Bitcoin, again, on September 7th, just under a week ago. So again, it's crazy that after this big drop, we've still not seen a big fall off, which is something I will say that's the slight light in a big old pit of darkness that gives me hope that maybe we do see some upside. Again, the golden cross did just occur, but just the volume is so low. And if you guys have been watching some on-chain or paying any attention to on-chain data, I know Pomp just posted a video about this saying no one's selling, and that's awesome. That's cool, but no one's buying either, which is equally as, which is kind of evens them out. And just because I am bearish, I'll just say this right now, because I'm bearish, I lean very bearish on the greater equity markets. The Fed meeting is tomorrow. I think inflation is going to run hot, but I think something is just bound to happen sooner than later. And again, all parties come to an end at some point, at least for the moment. Okay, so just all that said, I do think more downside is ahead for a number of reasons, both technical and fundamental. As you guys know, I do like to check out the good old TradingView bull meter, and Bitcoin's at a sell right now. You guys, again, I don't put a whole lot of weight on the bull meter on TradingView, but I do trust their algorithms personally because they've designed this amazing platform. And if I do lean towards Ethereum, if I sway one way or the other, in this case the bear, then seeing the TradingView bull meter at a sell is just kind of the cherry on top of that thesis and just reinforces my existing opinion that much more. Okay, so when it comes to downside price targets for Bitcoin, let's get rid of that guy. I do think now that this previous line of resistance will come into play as new supports. Again, touch point here from Bitcoin's high in mid-April. Touch point broke through that. We saw that rally that we've just seen. Again, broke out of this ascending channel just under a week ago. Beautiful Bitcoin ascending channel. Broke below it. Big drop off. Some sideways price action. Again, almost always from my years just watching Bitcoin, and this happens to pretty much every play that's highly volatile, which Bitcoin of course is. Big fall off, dead cat bounce, sideways price action, a little bit of capitulation followed by another big move down. I think previous resistance will come into play as new supports. If we do test this a week from today, if things really get dirty, which I think is possible, again, we've seen much crazier things happen in the past. If things really get dark and bloody, then I do think that a week from today, which is September 20th, it is September 13th at the time of recording, that'll take us to just about $33,000, and we'll have to see what happens there. So of course, you guys, if we do start to see some volatility, which I really hope, because I personally I enjoy, because it's funner honestly, but I also thrive as a trader in a hyper volatile environment. So let's hope we see that. And again, you guys, corrections present opportunities. So again, it will be fun to see what happens and how this pans out over the course of the month of September. Okay, so that's BTC. Let's move on to good old Riot Blockchain. So Riot, kind of same thing here, but I don't think it's going to be as drastic. Riot looks especially bad right now, in all honesty, just because, and I should have said this with Bitcoin, but we are on the daily candles right now, you guys, just keeping things kind of macro, because I feel like that's what's important at the moment. I've been doing the same in the newsletter as well, honestly. But Riot right now setting a series of lower highs and lower lows, high, low, lower high, lower low, where we're at right now. Nothing really, this just looks bad, you guys. Did kind of set in this double top-ish over here. And just overall, you guys, this does not look good. So you guys know kind of my price target for Riot. It's going to be at about 15 bucks. Reversion to the mean, or the revisit of the initial high, same as Bitcoin, but I'm focusing on that previous resistance as new support for the moment, for Bitcoin at least. But reversion to the mean, the revisit of the initial high, if Bitcoin ends up breaking that support, that new support, then I do think it will revisit probably like 20-25K, if I'm being completely honest. Happens every time. Again, the macro environment is different than it's ever been, so maybe we see something different happen. But just using historical data, that is the conclusion that I'm drawing. In the case, once again, that we break that support, but we'll have to see what happens when we approach that. But Riot, let's just say we do revert to the mean. This is technically the initial high prior to a significant correction, prior to this real run up. And right now we are kind of dancing directly on this crazy high in mid-January, which is kind of the peak of that parabolic high around where we're at now. Once again, $30. But I'll just use the middle ground. I think $15 is a solid psychological even to draw in. Again, we saw a little correction down here. and we have based out around there a couple of times. So I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, if Bitcoin does correct, to see Riot come down to about $15. But I'd personally be comfortable at this moment in time buying Riot. Maybe not $20, but $15 to $17 is where I'll personally start reaccumulating Riot for my longer term share position. Okay, so that's Riot. Mara does not look good, because Mara literally just as we closed out last week, did break below this beautiful ascending channel. So Mara did reclaim a pretty nice ascending channel. Mara saw some crazy price action over the past couple of weeks, but in the past week, of course, in the wake of Bitcoin falling off a cliff, has also fallen off a cliff just the other day on Friday, as we closed out last week, broke the reclaimed ascending channel. I do think it's likely that Mara, okay, so there's also this right here, which, I mean, this is very obvious. Just today, we closed below this line of support on Mara's short-term uptrend. So multiple lines of support have officially been broken, and the only light here is that Mara is seeing a higher low. So again, high, low, high, higher low, higher high. We could base out a higher low in the case that Bitcoin does see some upside. And keep in mind, you guys, it's very possible that Bitcoin does see upside. I just don't think it's likely. But yeah, Mara just not looking very good. And yeah, in terms of low, downside price targets, my first downside price target would be around $28. So I think, again, if Bitcoin does start falling, Mara is kind of gonna go into a free fall, honestly, to like $28. And I do have that same kind of sentiment with Mara as well, the reversion to the mean, the revisit of that initial high, especially because Mara has a larger Bitcoin position on their balance sheet than Riot. Their market cap is also significantly higher than Riot's as well, so I think Mara will fall significantly harder than Riot will in the case that Bitcoin pulls back. Okay, so I would not be surprised to see Mara come down to, if Riot hits like 15, 16 bucks, would not be surprised to see Mara come down to like 13, 14 bucks. And just that mid-teens region, mid to high teens region, is once again where I'll personally start looking into just reestablishing large position sizes for the long term in regard to Riot and Mara. Kind of, again, same principles apply with a lot of these. But let's move on to BitFarms, close it out with BTBT. BitFarms is, from a technical perspective, by far the most attractive play, or the play that kind of gives me some hope in the fact that this could potentially see a breakout. That is because, you guys know it, this is playing out somewhat of a bull flag. Okay, so bull flag, parabolic move up followed by a descending triangle. Just today, we did establish another line of support, and these as daily candles, this is a very solid, I mean, you guys know, huge bull flag guy. This is a pretty good looking bull flag. You're seeing a real nice base level out around here, around like $5.40, which I do like to see. So again, Bitcoin in the green right now, as this chart just recycled an hour ago, so I'm not going to put much weight on that. But say Bitcoin pops up right now, so we see a little bounce in Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised to see BitFarms and some of these other miners see short-term bounce as well, of course, because they are obviously tied to Bitcoin. So maybe to see some upside, but again, you guys, just because I'm bearish on Bitcoin means I'm bearish on BitFarms. And again, I do think that BitFarms has a lot of potential from a long-term perspective, from like just, again, this recently went public on the NASDAQ. I can't remember. I was around here because that's when we really saw the rallies, when it went public on the NASDAQ instead of being an OTC or over-the-counter play. But it was looking good. As you guys know, it was one of my top 3 stock picks of September. But unfortunately, the market throws curveballs. A curveball has been thrown, and you adapt to the times or you get slapped. I am, once again, bearish on BitFarms as well. In terms of price targets where I'd start accumulating for the long term, I mean, we're at 550 right now. Would not be surprised at all. And this is the same thing is gonna apply to BitDigital. BitFarms at a $900 million market cap. If Bitcoin starts to see the 30,000s again, I think we'll probably like triple bottom out around here at about $3, like $2.80 to $3, and around there realistically is where I'd probably start to accumulate. And you guys can see here, this is kind of like that same reversion to the mean is this area right here. That initial high of BitFarms parabolic rally was around $3, so that is once again where, in the case that we do see more downside, that's where I'll accumulate. But on the bright side, the volume is great. The volume on BitFarms is amazing, and that's really what I like to see. Okay, so let's close it out with good old BitDigital, or BTBT, a play that I really like from a fundamental perspective in terms of their long-term prospects, really that focus on green energy, clean and sustainable Bitcoin mining. not only from a human perspective, but from, again, a brand perspective. Their website is sick. If you guys haven't seen their website, go check it out. Color scheme, they got that kind of waves teal color going. Again, they have that sustainable approach to Bitcoin mining, which, again, from a human perspective, I respect, and just from a shtick perspective, it's a good shtick to have in 2021. All right, so Bit Digital also printing somewhat of a bull flag. We are definitely basing out around here, so this is also a bull flag, very steep bull flag at that. Again, parabolic move up, descending triangle, nice. And maybe this plays out, man. Maybe we do see Bitcoin break out. The thing here is volume is absolutely falling off. But again, a lack in volume isn't necessarily good nor bad. It usually just implies that a big move is on the horizon, in the the very near horizon. Like, will come up pretty soon. So I do think that a big move is in the cards for, honestly, all of these names, including Bitcoin, as we close out this trading week. So just stay on your toes, guys. I do think the market's about to get choppy, but just remember that's just my opinion. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know down below once again, and let me know why that is. Rationalize your statements in the best way you possibly can. So I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments, and always remember, you guys, until next time, take action, make waves. Peace.